Welcome to this explainer. Okay, if you're studying for the Florida real estate exam, you already know the deal. It is notoriously tough. I mean, the syllabus covers just a vast amount of legal statutes, administrative codes, the whole shebang. But here's a little secret for you. Beating this exam isn't just about perfectly memorizing every single word in Chapter 475. It's really about knowing exactly where the test writers have set their traps. So today, we're going to demystify some of the absolute hardest, most common traps on the exam so you can walk into that testing center with complete 100% confidence.
And honestly, this right here brilliantly illustrates why we are doing this today. Ouch, right? Scoring is 68 out of the required 75 to pass. That is just an agonizingly close fail. Missing a passing score by just a handful of points is incredibly common, and it almost always boils down to falling for just a few really easily avoidable trick questions. You see, the test writers, they absolutely love to test your attention to detail by swapping timelines, mixing up roles, or slightly altering definitions. Well, we're going to make sure that doesn't happen to you.
So, here is our roadmap for today. Number 1, Trap 1, Escrow Timelines. Number 2, Trap 2, Listing Agreements. Number 3, Trap 3, Co-Mingling Limits. Then, we'll synthesize it all with a quick memory aid and finish strong with an application rapid review quiz.
All right, let's dive right in. Trap 1, Escrow Timelines.
Now, before we talk about the trap itself, let's just define the jargon nice and simply. When we say escrow or a deposit, we're really just talking about a sum of money. Think of a buyer's earnest money or a good faith deposit that gets delivered to a real estate licensee in connection with a transaction. It's just money being held safely in trust. Now, the exam doesn't usually trap you on what escrow actually is. The trap is all about exactly when that money needs to change hands.
And here is the crucial point. They love mixing up these two specific roles and timelines. Look at this. If you are a sales associate, you must deliver the deposit to your broker by the end of the next business day following receipt. And remember, Saturdays, Sundays, and legal holidays do not count. But if you are the broker, you must place those funds into an escrow account immediately, which Florida law officially defines as no later than the end of the third business day following the original receipt. So what's the trap? The test questions are going to give you a scenario about a sales associate, but they'll offer the broker's 3-day timeline as an answer choice. Do not fall for it. Think of it like a relay race baton pass. You get 1 day to hand it to the boss, and the boss has 3 days total to put it in the bank.
Moving right along to Trap 2, Listing Agreements. 24. I want you to burn this number into your brain. Under Florida law, when a principal signs a written listing agreement, you have exactly 24 hours to give them a legible, signed, true, and correct copy of that agreement. The literal second you obtain that written agreement, the clock starts ticking. The exam will totally try to bait you with answers like 3 business days or within a reasonable time. Absolutely not. It is exactly 24 hours.
Now, beyond that 24-hour rule, your listing agreement actually has to contain some specific mandatory elements to be legally valid under Chapter 475. It's got to have a description of the property, the price and terms, the fee or commission, and of course, the proper signature of the principal. But I want you to pay very, very close attention to that first bullet point right there, a definite expiration date. Because what's really interesting here is how the state enforces that expiration date. The trap is that automatic renewal clauses are strictly illegal in Florida listing agreements. The law absolutely forbids requiring a client to give notice to cancel a listing after the expiration date has already passed. So on the exam, you'll see a question asking what a broker should do if a property hasn't sold near the end of a 6-month listing. One of those tricky wrong answers will casually suggest relying on an automatic 30-day renewal clause. You will immediately know that is a trap. It has to have a definite end date, no exceptions.
Okay, let's look at Trap 3, Co-Mingling Limits.
First things first, the definition. Commingling is the illegal act of mixing your personal or brokerage funds with your client's escrow or trust funds. Generally speaking, this is a massive, strict violation of Chapter 475. You never ever mix your money with the client's money. However, practically speaking, let's be real, banks charge monthly maintenance fees, so Florida law actually allows a small buffer of the broker's own funds just to keep the account open and cover those pesky bank fees.
But those limits are incredibly strict, and here is exactly how they test it. For a sales escrow account, a broker may maintain up to $1,000 of personal or brokerage funds. But for a property management escrow account, they can keep up to $5,000. The exam trap here is so simple but so effective. They will ask you about a sales escrow account, and they'll just slip $5,000 in as an answer choice. Or vice versa. They'll ask about property management and offer $1,000. You absolutely must keep these two distinct buckets separated in your mind.
Which brings us to the synthesis, memory aid. Okay, here is your cheat code to memorize everything we've covered today. First, I just want you to remember the sequence, 1, 3, 2, 4. 1 day for the sales associate to hand over the deposit. 3 days for the broker to put it in the bank. 24 hours to give the seller a copy of the listing agreement. 1, 3, 2, 4. Got it? Awesome. Now for the co-mingling limits. Just remember this little phrase. Sales are small, properties are big. The sales limit is the small number, $1,000. Property management, well, that's a much bigger ongoing operation, so the limit is the big number, $5,000. So 1324, sales small, properties big.
All right, it is time for the application rapid review quiz.
Let's simulate that exam environment. I'm going to read a question, and I want you to mentally lock in your answer before I reveal it. Ready? Here we go. A sales associate receives an earnest money deposit on Tuesday. When must the broker deposit it into the escrow account? Take a quick beat to think about our timelines.
And the answer is, by the end of business on Friday. Here is the exact justification. The associate has 1 business day, which is Wednesday, to deliver it to the broker. The broker has 3 business days from the original receipt on Tuesday to actually deposit it. So, day 1 is Wednesday, day 2 is Thursday, day 3 is Friday. Easy, right?
Next question. True or false? A broker can use a listing agreement that automatically renews if the property doesn't sell in 6 months. Think back to that massive warning we discussed earlier.
Answer: false. Remember, under Chapter 475, listing agreements absolutely must have a definite expiration date. 0 automatic renewal clauses are allowed in Florida.
Question 3. A broker manages rentals and handles sales. Can they keep $3,000 of personal funds in their sales escrow account to cover bank fees? Call back your memory aid for this one.
The answer is no. Why? Because, say it with me, sales are small. The limit for a sales escrow account is only $1,000. Sure, they could keep $3,000 in the property management account because that one allows up to $5,000, but they absolutely cannot put it in the sales account.
And here is our final rapid-fire question. You just got a seller to sign a listing agreement. What is your exact deadline to give them a copy? Get the number in your head?
The answer is within exactly 24 hours of obtaining the written agreement. Yep, that is the 24 from our 1324 memory aid. You nailed it.
Listen, you just disarmed 3 of the absolute trickiest concepts on the Florida real estate exam. Seriously, these are concepts that have literally cost so many candidates their passing score. But here is the question you need to answer next. You now know the traps, but are you ready to conquer the rest of Chapter 475? If you apply this exact same focused visual learning method to the rest of the statutes, you are not just going to pass the exam, you are going to absolutely crush it. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and hey, happy studying.